A sad day in America is upon us. Well, I guess boxing, which has always been a crooked and shady sport, is about to cross a line from where it may never come back. A few years ago, a buddy of mine said, "Why don't they just let everybody juice?" And I used to always laugh and say, "Man, that's stupid." And then I heard someone on a boxing show say, "Let's have two boxing leagues, one for clean fighters and one for guys to juice as much as they want." And I laughed at that too. I laughed at both of those comments by different people at different times. I thought it was funny all the way up until this week. Now, what is this shameful sport left with? Another new despicable precedent is about to be set. And what is anybody going to do about it? Nothing. Just sit back and eat wings and drink beer. Enjoy the fights. That's what they'll do. We're all going to do it. When Julio Cesar Martinez, a Reynoso fighter, got popped, nobody seemed to care. Name wasn't big enough, I guess. When Saul Alvarez, a Reynoso fighter, got busted, the solution should have been easy. Since everyone lives in the same house and eats the same meals during camp, when you went to test Saul Alvarez's hair sample, then test everyone's hair sample because they're all eating the same thing. If Canelo's hair tests positive, as it did, and the rest of the camp tests negative, then we know what time it is, don't we? Same with this guy, Oscar Valdez, a Reynoso fighter. Get a sample of the type of tea he says he took and test it. If it tests positive, give him a pass. But boxing won't do that, will it? Boxing doesn't care about drug testing. It never has. If it did, then the punitive damages would be as harsh as possible. How much time was Saul Alvarez given? How much was he fined? He was going to take that same amount of time off between fights, which was 6 months. I have yet to see anything that wasn't paid under the table that came out of his pocket. I didn't see. Now maybe something happened and it was put out there later on, but during the time, I didn't see any financial penalty, um, other than he didn't fight Golovkin. But guess what? He fought him anyway, and the man was X amount of months older when he did fight him. So, um, but boxing doesn't care. If so, the punitive uh, punishment or damages or what have you would be as harsh as possible. Um, the drug in question, phentermine, is a PED. It increases oxygen. It makes you stronger. The WBC says it's not a PED. Well, a United States cyclist accepted a 2-year ban for phentermine. A cyclist. Why would a cyclist have to face a ban? Cycling isn't a contact sport. Your hands on the bar and your feet on the pedal. That's the contact. Let's go back to Valdez's last fight against the King. He knocked the King out cold. The King had won 16 of his last 17 by knockout. He was the bigger man in the ring. He was weight drained, but he was game, and he was used to fighting that way. And Valdez knocked him out cold. Brutal knockout. If I remember, I'll put it down in the comment section, or I'll pin it to the top of the comments. But so people say boxing won't do anything until someone tests positive and they seriously hurt someone in the ring. But I disagree. What'll happen is there'll be a period of mourning or feeling, everybody feels sorry, and then it'll be business as usual. Back to business. Look at Valdez's last fight when he knocked out the King. You think the King isn't permanently impaired because of the brutality of that knockout? The King is Miguel Burchell, by the way. Valdez, meanwhile, has always struggled with stamina and with making weight. Okay, this drug he took helps out with both. And like my man Mo Cheeks said, what is he? Mo Cheeks 11, I think. If I get your name wrong, Mo, I'm sorry, but make sure you subscribe. Um, he said in response to one of my comments online, now he's knocking out Class A fighters late in fights. So if you got weight and stamina issues, now you have late power, not early, late power that may have ruined a Class A guy's career. It was a brutal knockout. And it was a late knockout. VADA has their hands tied in this because they do the test and they report the results, but they don't hand out punitive penalties. I don't know if VADA makes recommendations or not when people fail. I'm not sure about that, but it was interesting what Dr. Margaret Goodman had to say. She said VADA has one list, whether it's in competition or out of competition, none of that matters. Whatever is on their ban list, it doesn't matter when you take it. If you test dirty, that's it. You failed. Now they have these B samples also, but 99% of the time the B sample is the same as the A sample. So no in competition, out of competition. When we test you, this is why you gotta respect a guy like Nonito Donaire who does 24/7 VADA testing 365 days a year. WADA, that's the World Anti-Doping Association, not to be confused with VADA, which is the voluntary. Okay, WADA has an in competition and out of competition list, which doesn't make sense. And this is Valdez's way out because WADA kind of oversees and they're like it just it doesn't make sense. Okay, I don't like to curse, but I will here. It's bullshit. And dig this. Since phentermine is only banned in competition, a dirty fighter can take it all the way up until 11:59 p.m. prior to the day of the fight. Like, what kind of sense is that? I mean, well, who's going to take it after the fight? Who's going to take it the day of the fight? The damage is already done. You took it in camp to put yourself in a better position. So here's the key question. If phentermine isn't a PED, like the WBC says, then why does WADA prevent it from being used on fight night? Oh, you can go up to 11:59 p.m. the night before, but why prevent it from being used on fight night? Think about it.